Bonjour everyone. Today in this video I would like to show you an ace tanker I did with the E50M in which I did a lot of mistakes. Obviously I did less mistakes than good acts because I got myself an ace tanker and I survived, but I think it's important for me to be able to talk about the fails you do even when you're at your greatest, and this is the topic of this video. But before jumping directly into the game, I just want to highlight some aspects of the E50M for those of you wondering if it's worth it or not to get it. First of all, if you don't have it already, grind it as soon as possible if you are a good player. And on top of that, maybe it's time for us to talk about what the specs are about this one. It's truly a piece of mastering engineer from the Germans, simply because the thing you're seeing right there, he's packing an impressive accuracy and great gun in general. But on top of that, it features one of the craziest armor you can find at tier 10 on the medium tank. And as you are really heavy, you can ram them quite easily. You also have great side scraping abilities and possibly one of the greatest gun mantlet ever, because every time someone is going to shoot at this thing, nobody will penetrate. Now for the statistics, briefly, if you equip it like mine, which implies having those equipments, but also having those ammos, those provisions, consumable, etc., those are the statistics you will find out. 3k DPM, which is way enough to do the job, 0.27 accuracy, which is just insane and probably the best medium accuracy at tier 10. The penetration is good because I'm using calibrated shell, 257 with your regular, 330 with your heat shell, average damage 350 per shot. The only thing that is missing, or should feel like it's missing, is the gun depression, because yes, you have 8 degrees, but unlike other mediums, you are quite high. So those 8 degrees are effectively 6 degrees of gun depression on the Russians, etc, etc. And for the rest, you have an impressive mobility sitting at 60 kilometers per hour, and trust me, but using your weight to push forward against your opponents, you will ram them real hard. Now, let's take a look at what you're supposed to do with this one. First of all, I would like to start this video talking about the ratings, because we are playing in ratings right now, which changes a little bit how you are supposed to play your tanks, because most of the time in ratings, you are going to encounter people that are only playing their most skilled tanks, or at least the tank they are the most skilled in order for them to grind up stage by stage to probably get the mighty reward, which is the Lorraine Fearless. But for the rest of us that are just here to chill or getting the RBM challenge done, like me, let's say that I'm just here to have fun, and it doesn't change that much my regular playstyle, but it will change how I will act against my opponents, because here you are pretty much playing only against the best tanks you can find, statistically talking. So there we go. The first thing I do is obviously going on the medium side, and I'm using my great accuracy to be able to sneak a shot on the M60 at the beginning of the game. It already allows me to get myself 364 damage, and it's already that taken. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about this. And now, first mistake I did. I told you that with this tank you have crazy side scraping abilities, and instead of side scraping and putting my hull like that, angled like the 907 in order to bounce the STB, I'm going straight in and taking a shot in my hull. I shouldn't have done that, and this was a mistake, and the problem is that I'm gonna do this mistake again and again and again. Here I realized that I had to be in hull down, side scrape, and this is what I'm trying right now. And here you see directly the difference for my opponents. As I told you, it's impossible to penetrate to you like this. Even if they try to go for the front turret, which is totally possible, they'll have to switch to gold shell, which means that it's either I get penetrated on my hull because I'm not side scraping, or they manage to shoot at my turret, but they still have to use gold, therefore having a lower alpha damage. So there we go. I'm gonna stay right now as long as possible inside scrape, and after all, we corrected the first mistake, which is a good thing. It's definitely a good thing, because otherwise we would have get destroyed pretty quickly. So there we go. We're sneaking as much shots as possible, and as you can see, or maybe you didn't see that, but I'm always shooting at the first track on every single tank I encounter, because my goal is to perma-track them. This guy is nearly a one-shot for me, 2 shots. So if I manage to track him again, it's over, because he already used his repair kit, and I should do the same for the Object 140. So let's take a closer look once again. Here I see that the 140 is here, and I do another mistake. Instead of waiting for him him to come to me, I'm exposing myself. I shouldn't have done that. I should have stayed in side scrape. I had the bigger position and I just left it behind for no reason. Luckily for me, I did not get punished for it because I took the shot directly in the track, which resulted in a bounce. But still, I wasn't satisfied with my playstyle right now. Once again, we shoot the first track, and now I'm thinking, because I have some map awareness, hey, we have a T125 right there, and if I'm not mistaken, with the T125, there is someone here that will be spotted after. So we have an E5 here, we have T57 heavy right there that is pushing, and the IS4, and they're probably going to try to do a big push all together. So what I want to do is obviously to back up as fast as possible, because obviously this guy right there is not going to last too long. So there we go, we are trying to hide away, but unfortunately, as always, we took a shot because, yeah, you don't have the same speed in reverse than you have frontward. So yeah, once again, mistake. I did not try to hide my plate because I could actually side scrape on this side, and I got penetrated once again. So for the moment, we took 3 shells that could have gone to waste if I played better. But not a problem, because we are going to do it a 4th time. 4 times we are exposing our tank when we do not want to. So yeah, those little details could cost you a game, guys, trust me, because here I got lucky that the 140 bounced me 2 times, the M60 same bounced me 1 time, otherwise I would be dead already. And now I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go in straight because I had the special perk that allowed me to get the max roll. I was not expecting the max roll, but I said, hey, you know what, let's try it out and we'll see. And luckily for me, it worked. And if I didn't have the max roll, I would have just rammed the 140. So here it was not necessarily a mistake. It would have been a mistake if I was nearly a one-shot, obviously. But here, as the IS4 was not looking at me, I did not bother. But now I'm a one-shot and things are getting a little bit spicy. So what we do right now is using our crazy accuracy to be able to sting some shots on the T125. And at the same time, we are using the T57 heavy wreck to not get shot by the the T125, because just take a look at this boy. He really wants to get us. Once again, we penetrate him, poor guy, straight into his side, and he got killed by one of our friends, if I'm not mistaken, the Batchat, which allowed us to get our 6k damage, 3 kills, and an ace tanker. But even if it's an ace tanker, as I told you, I was not satisfied because I did way too many mistakes. Because usually we tend to have a specific playstyle with a tank that you need to stick to, but in the heat of the battle, and sometimes because you don't want to bother, you are not following those rules. And if you are not following those, you are sooner or later gonna lose yourself over the battle. You are not gonna, how could I say this? You are not gonna be the most effective with your tank simply because you don't bother being effective. So the moral of the story, the moral of this video, is to always keep an eye on what you're doing and always remind yourself what your tank is strong at. With the E50M in this particular situation, my best chance was to side scrape, and I didn't do that for at least 4 or 5 times, and I lost plenty of hit points for no reason when I could have just bounced them off. Hopefully you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And if you too have some ace tankers that you're not satisfied with, that you want me to comment over in order for us to discuss all together about this problem and what you should have done, even if you did well because you did an ace tanker, feel free to send them to the link, to the address, the mail that we have in the description. And it will be my pleasure to review them. See ya.